What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here and you guys don't know what we do, we watch scary and creepy videos that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Let's seek the truth.
And at least 13 other states have moved to ban employer-mandated implants. Nevada went even further in 2019, banning these programs even for people who want to participate voluntarily. Nevada Assemblyman Skip Daly argued that any potential benefit in the technology is overshadowed by the risk of abuse. And it's not just about tracking. There are concerns about hacking, which could leave a person's private health, work, or even financial information exposed. There are also the physical risks. Some medical studies have found that these rice-sized chips can injure hand tissues and tendons, and laboratory tests on mice have associated the implants with tumors. Despite the legal pushback, the world of biohacking is still advancing rapidly. In Sweden, thousands of people have already signed up for implants that carry everything from office key cards to vaccine records. Here in the US, the FDA actually has been on board with the general concept for a long time. It approved implantable chips for accessing medical records in 2004. As technology continues to advance, the choice between science fiction convenience and the right to remain untraceable is a decision more of us may have to make sooner than we think. For the Washington Times, I'm Susan Ferriccio.
That is crazy. That the fact that some people are like volunteering to get that chip put into them, bro. Do you know what that chip represents, man? They freaking, bro, somebody can hack you, bro, like they said, take your information, bro. And it's just not working with the health benefits as well, man. Like, bro, it can deeply affect your health, man. People going crazy in 2026, bro.
The dog was placed inside a wheel attached to the ceiling, and as it ran, the spinning wheel turned a rod. This rod slowly rotated meat over open flames, cooking it evenly. And these dogs were bred on purpose to have long bodies and short legs, so they were heavy enough to turn the wheel while still being able to fit inside. But the work was exhausting, so some kitchens kept two dogs and swapped them when one got too tired. But machines eventually replaced the wheel, meaning the dogs weren't needed anymore, and the breed eventually disappeared.
What? Happy Cinco de Mayo weekend to those of you that celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I know I do. And for those of you that enjoy a nice ice-cold margarita like I do, you might want to check that glass before drinking it. Why do I say that? Because a couple went out for margaritas, and they swapped drinks. And upon doing that, the girl's boyfriend took a look at his straw and could not believe what he saw. Take a look at this video for yourself.
All right.
Look at that. And he's alive.
We
Can
suing.
you imagine ordering a margarita and not even paying attention and taking a sip on that straw and inhaling or drinking this guy along with the tequila? Now, for those of you that are familiar with Palo Viejo, that used to come with a worm at the bottom of the bottle. I guess nowadays you can go to a restaurant and get a spider inside of your straw. No extra charge. One more look.
Hell no, bro.
Two things to remember on this Cinco de Mayo weekend. Don't drink and drive, drink responsibly, and check your straw before having a sip. This all happened in San Diego. This actually was a boyfriend and girlfriend that went out on a date. They had just swapped drinks when she gave him this. Now, my question is, do you think she saw it and was like, you want to swap? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Be careful.
And don't forget, check your straws.
Okay, so now meteors just falling in the damn lake.
The hell?
Loud. You can't make this up.
Still freaking out because you are never going to have to brush your teeth ever again. Okay, scientists have just created an artificial saliva that will actually protect your teeth. This is wild, just stick with me and make sure to share with someone who hates brushing their teeth. So scientists have developed an artificial saliva using a protein from sugarcane. It's called cane CPI-5, and instead of making your mouth just feel less dry like you would without saliva, it actually sticks directly to your teeth and protects you, basically acting as a protective shield over the enamel. Now this matters because saliva actually does a lot more than most people realise. It protects your teeth from acid attacks, bacteria, and of course decay. So when someone loses saliva production, especially after having something such as head or neck cancer treatment, their teeth can start breaking down fast, and obviously that's terrible. So this is now in very early testing, but they published some of the research already. This sugarcane protein helps make teeth more resistant to damage, as I said, and researchers said it works even better when combined with fluoride and xylitol. It basically works as like a mouthwash which people will be given, they'll drink it, and it will coat your teeth for however long. Now obviously this is initially meant for people who don't have saliva production, people who have had certain types of cancer, as I mentioned, and this will be an absolute game changer for these people. But then it could start developing even more, as some scientists have hinted at, to be an over-the-counter sort of mouthwash that acts as like a replacement to a toothbrush. It will be a shield over your enamel, over your tooth, that will protect you from everything. So I don't know how far it's going to go. It's going to take a while to get to that point, but it is crazy the things we're doing right now, so hit that follow button. I'll keep you updated.
Please brush your teeth, seekers. I'm begging you, man. We don't need more people in this world, bro, who don't brush their teeth, bro. Bad breath. You don't want that, man. Please don't be one of those people. You ghost hunting now? I heard that. Except we don't play? Oh, I'm out. Simple as that. Go something over.
Kardashian family is said to have destroyed the careers of every man who got close to them, and the list of these men reveals something disturbing. We've always known the Kardashian family as they are today, without ever really talking about the father, and yet he's the reason we even know this family at all. You should know that the father, Robert Kardashian, was Armenian. He came from a very old lineage, tied to ancient knowledge. I'm not talking about black magic or anything like that, but influence, image, and energy. He was managing many things behind the scene. The first man to fall was Scott Disick. After being with a Kardashian for 9 years, he fell into depression that still affects him today. He struggled with addictions that took everything from him. But the strangest part is that he says he feels like something inside him is missing. For Travis Scott, it's completely different. Look at his eyes here. You can see there's life and awareness. Now look at him after being with Kylie Jenner. That kind of change doesn't feel normal. Timothy's case is much more subtle. I don't understand how people still haven't noticed. If you pay attention, he's always making those same gestures, always with that empty, glassy look. And when you know Kylie went from Travis to Timothy, their relationship doesn't feel natural. It looks like something staged. And the most well-known case of all, Kanye West, is the most extreme. He was seen as an untouchable visionary genius, but after Kim Kardashian, everything collapsed publicly for him. He's been in constant mental chaos, and his career is permanently fractured, as if that relationship burned everything out of him. Then there's Rob Kardashian, the only male in the family. He's almost non-existent. You barely ever see him. He appears, disappears, extremely discreet, like he's hiding something big.
Okay, you're on a cave. A gated cave? What the heck? It has to be Florida, right?
Who saw the movie The Matrix?
Me?
Okay. Good. And we can start from a point of reference. Matrix was a banging movie to me. And the reason why I appreciated it so much was because, do you remember at the end when Neo realized his potential? He started to see the binary code. You remember that? The whole world? Well, that's where I'm trying to be spiritually. I'm trying to see the word of God in the whole world. So every time that agent throws a punch, I'm like, I see you. Oh, okay. I'm just catching his punches. So I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because I'm starting to see that. Things are just, situations materialize themselves and, oh, he's an agent. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. Here's the trick is that you have to remember that sometimes you can be an agent. You can be an agent to yourself. You can be an agent against someone else and not even realize that you're being used, you know? That's the Matrix.
She was spitting, bro. You guys know I know the Matrix. Look at my freaking background, man. The whole point trying to break free the system. That's why I started watching these clips in the first place, man. That's an interesting theory, though. She said you can be an agent and you don't even know it. Am I an agent? I can't be, right? Breaking my mind.
Toy surveillance tech to be put in cars by 2027. These regulations are getting insane. So pretty much AI will decide if you're fit to drive your car or not. It's just another reason to go buy an old car on Facebook Marketplace.
Yo, what the hell do they got going on in the White House right now? They just said a Secret Service agent was arrested for whacking off.
Patients here that that person's on administrative leave this morning, but let's walk you through what folks are saying here. At hotel guests, they say that the man you see here, John Spillman, followed them to their hotel room Sunday night, dropped his pans, and police say they even caught Spillman doing so when they arrived.
Oh no!
He was working as a security perimeter, screening detail at Trump Doral for the president's visit as he attended the 2026 Catholic Championship golf.
I don't know what buddy on, but he looked faded, bruh. Something ain't right there. So you telling me this man just threw his whole career away because he wanted to beat his meat in the hallway? Bro, where they find this man at? How long was he a Secret Service agent? This shit is weird, bruh. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
More and more people are now saying that the CIA codes that were released are actually a real thing. And I was like, CIA codes like weapons or something? They're like, no. CIA codes related to the human body and how just knowing these sequences can change your body. How can a sequence of numbers affect your body? And how she described it, the woman who was like, this is a complete joke, and then tried it and said her pain is gone. She focused on the area where she was having the pain while she was having it, and then repeated this sequence of numbers, 55515, over and over again, kind of turning it into like a mantra, would say it out loud. It worked. I don't get to this because everything fascinates me. There is a pain relief code, the 55515. There is a peace code. There is an unexpected money code. We're talking a sequence of numbers for income. And wait for it, they also have them for weight loss and reality shift. Who knew? And apparently the romance code is another one that people say they swear by. You don't have to just walk around chanting these numbers to yourself so that you sound crazy. To everyone, you can just visualize this sequence of numbers, focus on what it is these numbers are supposed to be doing for you. We are also saying write these numbers down. You can write them on your body. Show them to water before you drink the water. Apparently being related to that study where they took water and like drew a picture of like an animal or something, then took the picture away and then stuck the water in like a freezer, and whenever they took the water out and ran it under a microscope, there was a picture of that animal, proving that water had memory. If it works, it works. Thanks, CIA.
President of the United States, a congresswoman, and a former intelligence official are all saying the exact same thing right now. UFO files are supposed to be coming, and they include things that you would not believe. Okay. So President Trump went on camera just 2 days ago, and he basically said that he has personally seen UFO evidence, and that it includes, direct quote, things that you wouldn't believe.
They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from.
So what does that mean? He then said that disclosure is coming very, very soon, and that he already signed an executive order back in February forcing every single agency to hand over what they have. Give it to me. But he's actually not even the only one saying this right now, because the chairwoman of the House UFO Task Force just came out of a classified briefing and said that she saw evidence of objects that were not made by mankind. She then demanded 46 classified videos from the Pentagon by April the 14th, and then the Pentagon basically just ghosted her. So that's insane. And then on top of all of that, there's a former intelligence official who testified under oath in front of Congress. And he's saying that the files involve sentient, non-human intelligence. That's a sworn government witness saying that on record. It's not a Reddit conspiracy theory. Those UFO files are supposed to be coming soon. Multiple different people have said it, and when they do, I will obviously cover it immediately. Just make sure that you are already adding me, and you go ahead and add me now, so you don't miss it whenever that comes out.
When those files drops, man, those clip drops, I will be on the Seekers, man. So like you said, bro, sub up so you guys can stay notified, bro. And isn't it funny how they said that, you know, all this disclosure's coming out, and there's this movie coming out by Steven Spielberg called Disclosure Day. You know, about the aliens. It's like all lining up this year, bro. Crazy. Antarctica. Bro, what's down there, man? Truly in Antarctica, bro. I've seen too many clips now, man. There has to be something beyond that ice wall. Shit just stopped, man. Are they landing on the ice wall? Okay, they're flying over it. Should stop for fuel or something? Okay, so those are all the circuits. They lining up, bro. This is why America is sick. But they're putting in the toilet paper. Okay, they put some bad crap in there, man. Some bad chemicals.
She was taking her contacts out when things suddenly took a horrifying turn. She was sitting in front of the mirror getting ready for the night. First, she decided to wear her blue lenses carefully, placing them in and making sure they looked perfect. She even showed her followers her lens kit, smiling and talking completely relaxed. Then she snapped a quick picture for her boyfriend. Everything was normal, just another night. A few minutes later, it was time to take them out. She picked up a small tweezer-like tool and gently touched the lens, but when she tried to lift it, it didn't move. She blinked, adjusted her hand, and tried again. Still, nothing. A slight fear crept in, but she told herself to stay calm. Maybe it just needed more grip. So she switched to her suction applicator. She pressed it softly against the lens and pulled nothing. That's when it started to feel wrong. The applicator wasn't just holding the lens, it felt stuck to her eye itself. Seconds passed, her eye began to dry, tightening the suction even more. Now every small movement hurt. She pulled again, because no matter how hard she tried, it wouldn't come off. What would you do if this happened to you? Let me know in the comments.
I just saw.
Bro, that was crazy, bro. She was really like pulling her eye, like she was pulling the lens, but it was taking her eye with it. Bro, that was pure nightmare fuel, man. Just looking at it, bro.
On video, and I think it is one of the greatest representations of what the fourth dimension will look like. Keep in mind that in the fourth dimension, you'd see a person's past, present, and future simultaneously. This is the video I'm referring to. A man drew a picture of Saitama from the show One Punch Man, and as he's panning around the picture, you can see different images of the character within the image of the character. Since in a higher dimension, time would not be linear, but instead happening all at once, I'd imagine that every action that we took in our lives would be shown all at the same time to this higher dimensional being, as they're moving around in different directions that we don't have here in the third dimension. Now, obviously, these higher dimensional beings would be angels and ultimately God looking at our lives this way. But leave a like and let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm sorry, you are now manually blinking.
Sorry guys, I just turned on your manual blinking. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to turn on your manual breathing as well. This is a pretty cool TikTok video that I got tagged in that illustrates exactly why humans have the need to blink. We can see this eyeball illuminated green. We then see these dark patches show up every few seconds, and this cues this person to blink. Blinking is something we autonomously do every single day. A lot of people don't know why that is. It's because we have a tear film here with multiple layers. This layer breaks up quite quickly, between 5 to 10 seconds, which is exactly why we blink, to reapply and make sure that that tear film is still there. If you're in a situation where you're not blinking for an extended period of time, like playing video games, for example, this can result in dry eyes, which is quite uncomfortable and oftentimes shows itself visually as bloodshot eyes. It's not a very pleasant thing to experience. I'm sorry though, because for the next 20 to 30 seconds, you're probably going to be consciously thinking about your blinking and breathing, which sucks. That's exactly what happened to me when I watched this video.
The dare just went horribly wrong because after putting an octopus onto his face, he realized he couldn't get it off. At first he thought it was funny, but the more he pulled, the tighter its grip got. The suction cups locked onto his skin, pulling harder with every second. Moments later, his friend finally ripped it off, but something went wrong. The octopus had taken part of his face off and left him permanently disfigured.
What?
You heard him. And now he's gonna show you who he is.
That's what happened at Coachella?
This is what people are saying. Don't forget that. Doesn't mean this is true. Wow. Check out the hand sign. Come on now. Sway Lee said that he's not 100% human. He's a shape shifter. He said it, not me. All right? So, I don't know if he's playing around, if he's joking around, but he looks serious to me. What more can I say? He has this interesting chest tattoo. I mean, I think I know what it is. Maybe y'all know what it is. Maybe y'all can let me know what it is. Because it's a very strange tattoo that he has on his chest. I'm not sure why he would even get that to begin with, bro. You think he's bothered? Sway Lee is sleeping good at night. Sir, listen. Sway Lee said he's a shapeshifter. And to be honest with you, nobody believes that, not even me. But of course, guys, entertainment purposes only. These are musicians, entertainers. That's what they do. They entertain us. They're just playing around, guys. Don't believe nothing he's saying. Let's be real now. I just go by what I heard. I don't know anything. Let me know what you think. I'm out of here, B.
Could be, man. She's an overnight caregiver. I sleep on the couch. Okay. But you trying to see what's going on. Alright, looks normal so far. What the f... Is she peeking around the corner? Hold on, I thought she said she couldn't walk though. So who the hell is that? She's just staring menacingly for an hour or two.
What if I told you that in the near future, in order to pay for something through your bank, small, tiny airborne particles will swarm around you to read your biometric data in order to authenticate that payment? People are going to say this is a conspiracy theory, but here's the United States patent filed by Wells Fargo in 2022, and this invention is called Smart Dust. Here's the summary from the filed patent. You can read this for yourself, but Smart Dust is a system of small micro-electromechanical systems devices that can have sensors that collect data and transfer it to a base station device. These devices are small enough that they can be suspended in the air, and they can do facial recognition, get your height, your weight, your blood pressure, your eyes. They take that information, go back to the user profile, make sure it's you, and then they authenticate the payment. And less than a week ago, Trump signed an executive order that will require Americans to release their biometric data or lose their bank accounts. Of course, they will tell you that this is all for your security. Smart Dust was originally a military concept. Now it's going to be used as your wallet. What could go wrong? Well, this technology is insane because sure, it can be used to authenticate your payment, but it could also be used to surveil every single person in the world without them even knowing. I know Trump said no to central bank digital currencies, but don't you think that Smart Dust is worse? As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
I'm trying to get this Smart Dust stuff to happen too, bro. What is up with people, man, that want to be in people's business so bad, but want to track us, know our whereabouts at all times, man? It's just weird, bro. We can't have no privacy, man. In the big year of 2026. Mind blowing.
Hidden for years inside a host mother, this organism develops without ever showing on the surface, drawing all of its nutrients from the plant. When it finally breaks through, it opens into a massive Rafflesia bloom, one of the largest single flowers on Earth. It survives without chlorophyll, meaning it can't produce its own energy, and it never forms leaves, stems, or roots. Instead of attracting bees, it releases a chemical odor that mimics rotting flesh to draw in carrion flies. Flies land and unintentionally transfer pollen as they move across the surface. The bloom only lasts a few days, then collapses and breaks down. This is one of the few plants that spends most of its life.
Take a look at what's going on in Indonesia, bro. Something is literally trying to birth itself into our realm. Look at those dark clouds. Take a look at the silhouette over here, y'all. Isn't that a giant beam? A giant beam, and then it looks like a literal. Look at this giant sphere. Look at this. Y'all see this, junk? Look at that. Y'all can see the outline of it, bro. It's literally trying to come into our realm. Y'all see, look at the sphere. Whoa. Because y'all can clearly see an outline of something. Why does it look like that? Y'all know what I'm saying? And sometimes it be tucking in and tucking out. And both the Philippines and Indonesia have back-to-back earthquakes. So what if this is really Stranger Things and they made us think that Stranger Things was really bad, but it's actually really good? Because what person in their right mind would see this and perceive this as bad? Because God is associated with the colors of the rainbow. And there it is right there. So is this the second coming of Christ? Is this the second coming of Christ that they told us about? Because this looks like some type of new consciousness, right? Because this is what I think about in the Lucky Charms commercial when they say taste the rainbow, the real rainbow, the living rainbow. Y'all cannot look at this and tell me that this is not conscious and that this is not a lie. Because sometimes I be seeing it playing peekaboo. Oh my God, bro. This is the new Christ consciousness energy, man. I can feel it. This is that plasma energy that's waiting to do its thing. Yeah, man. This is Lisa Frank. Great things are getting ready to happen. Let me know what you guys think about this video, man. The shit is here. We are in the midst of it. Let's continue to get.
In the ocean, killer whales are the apex predator of the sea. And believe it or not, they are a lot smarter than dolphins. Here's a group of them coordinating an attack on the single seal chilling on ice. They each get in line and all start swimming super fast towards the seal. This causes a huge wave to be created, and we all know what happens next. The Australian box jellyfish may look super tiny, or average for some, but if it stings you can say goodbye to everything you've ever known. It will start by shutting down your nervous system, meaning if you're still in the water, you'll start drowning, and then it will attack your lungs, making it seem like you're breathing in hot fire. And finally, you'll pass away if you don't get help soon. Sea snakes are also extremely dangerous. They might look cute and harmless with their bright colors, but apparently the brighter they are, the more venomous they can be. That means that only 3 drops from their venom can kill up to 8 human adults.
Top 5 most dangerous animals in the world. Coming in at number 5, we have the assassin bug, also known as the kissing bug because it's known to bite people on the face.
Ooh.
People who are bitten by an assassin bug often contract Chagas disease, which can be deadly to humans. These bugs kill upwards of 12,000 people every single year and can be found in the southern half of the United States. At number 4, we have freshwater snails. Now I know what you're thinking. How can a snail be one of the most deadly animals on Earth? Freshwater snails can have parasitic worms on them, which can get people sick from a disease called schistomiasis. which causes severe pain in the abdomen area. Anywhere between 20,000 to 200,000 people every single year die of this disease, making freshwater snails the 4th most deadliest animal on the planet.
Oh.
Like and follow for the top 3.
Man, it's really deep. It's like it's like the smaller the animal or insect, it's like the more deadly they are. If you really think about it, man, it's like the most smallest freaking animals, bro, are the deadliest. Goes to show you, bro. Size don't matter, man. Doesn't matter if they big, small, medium size. They can get you, bro. Things about nature, man. Never ceases to amaze me.
This is the final part of the murder of Jayna Murray. So the main suspect, Brittany Norwood, was in an interrogation room at the police station with her brother. Her brother Chris said to her, "Did you do it?" And at first she was denying it, but he kept pushing. Eventually she told him that she didn't want to talk about it in the police station. And even though that wasn't a confession, it was enough for police. And on March 18th, 2011, a week after Jayna's murder, Brittany Norwood was arrested. Police still didn't have a motive, but they basically suspected that Jayna confronted Brittany about stealing, and she got angry and killed Jayna. To this day, Brittany has still not confessed or explained the motive. Brittany's defense tried to argue insanity and that Brittany had an undiagnosed mental illness. But after the trial, the jury deliberated for less than an hour and found Brittany Norwood guilty of murder. She was then sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Brittany actually apologized to Jayna's family after she was sentenced before she was taken away, but everybody who heard it said that it sounded so insincere. Jayna's murder was absolutely horrific, but thankfully she got the justice that she deserved. The Lululemon in Bethesda, where the murder happened, is still open and now has a beautiful mural in honor of Jayna. Jayna is incredibly missed by her family and friends, and she was such a beautiful soul. But that's why I wanted to tell this story, because yes, it is the Lululemon murder, the murder that happened at a Lululemon store, but more importantly, it was the murder of Jayna Murray. And she deserves her name to be everywhere.
This is what prevailed in the end. You saw it. Where's it, Scott? We can spot out the edits, man. We've been doing this for a minute. We know what's.
Here are facts you didn't know that one day could save your life.
Okay.
If you're ever buried in rubble, yelling will only waste your energy. Look for something to grab and tap in intervals of 3, and rescuers will notice this strange pattern. If a tornado looks like it's standing still, this means it's actually moving towards you. If your drink randomly smells like cinnamon, don't drink it. People often use it to cover up the scent of actual poison. If your house ever smells like fish for no reason, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's an electrical fire. If you ever wake up to the smell of gas, don't turn on a light. A spark from the light switch could blow up your entire house. Lying flat on your back is the best way to survive a falling elevator. If your hair suddenly stands up, duck and cover because you're about to be struck by lightning. If you ever fall off the edge onto the tracks, don't try and crawl back up. There's a crawl space built to go underneath in case this happens. If you ever get kidnapped into the back of a vehicle, disconnect the brake light wire so the cops will pull them over, then kick on the door to let them know that you're there.
Interesting facts, man. I didn't know this. That they said this line straight back and the elevator when it's going down. That's the best chance for somebody. You would have never thought that in a million years. You would have thought like going to the side or something, man. Try to escape the impact, but just laying straight down. I have to check that one out, man. I guess it's the physics behind it. And about the hair standing up. I've seen a couple of pictures like that before. So does that mean lightning was about to strike just before they took that picture? They lucky.
I can't believe this is real. A billionaire from Ohio named Larry Connor is planning a Titanic submarine dive.
What
because
the
I guess we still haven't learned our lesson from last time. The trip is going to cost $20 million, and the sub will dive more than 2 miles underwater to the Titanic shipwreck. Now his reason for doing this is to prove that last year's OceanGate implosion was a fluke, and that expeditions and personal subs are now much safer and, quote, life-changing. And if you thought this was bad enough, this was planned just days after the OceanGate sub implosion. Navy. When Larry reached out to the CEO of Triton Submarines to make a better sub that could make multiple trips to the Titanic. So the two of them will soon board the newly designed Triton Abyssal Explorer, which they claim is capable of diving 4,000 meters deep, or 200 more than where the Ocean Gate disaster happened. And don't worry, this time it'll be operated by a PS5 controller. So if you thought 2024 couldn't get any crazier, we now have a Titanic trilogy before GTA 6. And we might have an addition to this graph.
This Nigerian cook survived 3 days in a 100 feet deep shipwreck. One night, Harrison was in the toilet and heard voices from his crewmates yelling as the boat sinking. A few seconds later, water started getting in from under his feet, and he felt the boat flipping upside down. As the boat was sinking, he was able to find an air pocket, which allowed him to breathe for the next 3 days. The cook was able to survive on one bottle of Coke in complete darkness. And to make things worse, he could feel sharks rubbing against his legs while he was in the water. When all hope was lost, he heard banging on the outside of the boat and started seeing lights from divers getting closer to him. But then it started going away, so he decided to follow it. Apparently, the divers were looking for missing corpses. As the diver was swimming, he saw a hand and thought it was a corpse. But that hand started squeezing him, so he knew it was alive. So the diver called for backup and was able to save him.
These are the most amazing animals in the world. Part 1. The ogre-faced spider can be found in the forests of Australia and Africa, and it's known for having the largest eyes on any species of spider. Their eyes can also absorb 15,000 times more photons than humans. They're able to hear their surroundings from the tiny hairs on their legs, and use it to create one big and one smaller web between their legs, and attract their prey with their waist and snag it. Next, the Watusi is a species of cattle that originated back in ancient Egypt. The biggest characteristic that helps them stand out is their massive horns. These horns can grow up to 8 feet in length, and some of them may never stop growing. The Watusi with the largest recorded horns was in 2004, with horns measuring 40 inches in width. And these horns don't just look awesome, but they function as air conditioners for the animal, because they can control their body temperature and send it out the horns. And finally, the flatfish. Their flat bodies allow them to blend into the ocean floor to easily hide themselves from predators, as well as help them catch their own prey. They're also extremely fast swimmers thanks to their underfin, which gives them an extra boost. These fish also start like any regular fish, with both their eyes on each side of their face. But within a few weeks, one of its eyes slowly migrates its way onto the other side of the face, which makes them look like this.
Crazy, man. Especially about the spiders, man. Guys, we're gonna do bugs.
You wish you never knew. On September 26th of 2021, a huge asteroid actually almost hit Earth, and NASA didn't detect it until a day later. So yeah, we were almost done for. Believe it or not, the humans do have a natural predator, and it kills around 2 to 3 million people a year. And we still have no clue how to stop it yet. This creature is the mosquito. Did you know TikTok has a secret emoji? Type shout with the bars around it on your keyboard and see what you unlock. Dr. Carl Tanzler was in love with one of his patients. Her name was Elena, but sadly she passed away. Carl then snuck into her tomb, stole her body, brought her back to his house, and kept her in there for 7 years. For that whole time, her body was slowly rotting away. He would prop her up on the bed like a mannequin. And the only reason he was caught was because somebody saw him dancing with her in front of his open window. You can check if your phone is being monitored right now. Just click on share, slide to the very end, click more, and if any unknown apps appear before your contacts, you should delete them immediately. 3 a.m. is known as the devil's hour. It is said that during that hour, the veil between our world and the paranormal world is thin. No wonder you always wake up at 3 a.m. Studies show that people who like and follow me get smarter every day, so you know what to do.
These pictures I'm about to show you are very disturbing once you know the story behind them. These are pictures taken of the Children of God, now known as the Family. They were a radical Christian cult that hit their peak around the early to mid-70s. Around that time, they had about 10,000 members in dozens of countries around the world. It started with this man, David Berg. He looks creepy, right? It's because he was. He was a predator of kinds. All the members had to have sex with each other, even if they did not want to. Even the children. He always told his followers that the world was going to end and that they were God's soldiers that were going to fight the Antichrist. Members had to drop out of society. They were only allowed to make money by begging on the street and selling pamphlets that they were given. David Berg also promoted this thing called flirty fishing, where members, mostly women, would go out to bars and pick up men and have sex with them. They would try to convince them to join the cult, and if not, they would ask for money. It was literally sex trafficking his followers. One of the most disturbing things I've seen about this cult is the story of Davidito, the book where they explain how every cult member should raise their child, advocate for child abuse of all kinds and incest. He would also get his followers to send videos of women and children dancing naked and singing religious songs. If you want to hear more, I just released an hour-long episode on this cult, and I also talk about Ricky Rodriguez. He was born into this cult, and when he grew up, he realized he had been abused and that this cult was evil. He then killed one of the leaders of this cult and took his own life.
It's crazy, man. I'm saying these things you be learning about these cults, bro. When people get deep into it, it's just like all sense of morality, all sense of free will just gone. They'll do anything that leader says. It's scary, man, to think about how like that one person can gain that much control over that many people. They said it was like over 10,000. That's a lot of damn people. Should we check out that deep dive, man? Like I said, going down that cult rabbit hole, that's something we might have to do one day. Crazy.
So this photo is the reason you shouldn't put your feet up on the dashboard of a car.
What?
In 2007, Granny Keeley had an airbag deploy on her at 120 miles an hour. She was sitting passenger with her feet up on the dash, and when the airbag went off, her knees went right into her skull. Obviously, this led to a brain injury. Her 2 front teeth also fell out, but she lived, thankfully. She lived without a forehead for about 2 years until surgeons fitted a ceramic forehead into her skull. She had near constant headaches, and she developed gallstones because of the medication she was on. After they fitted a ceramic plate into her forehead, they injected fat from her stomach into it so it could look more natural. This is her today, so she looks very normal now. And of course, because she's in good spirit, she says her ceramic forehead is designer because it was made in Italy. She also spent a considerable amount of time educating people on why they shouldn't put their feet up on the dashboard. Because if you do, you could end up like this. And you might not be so lucky. So, if you get anything from this video, stop putting your feet up on the dash. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational and entertainment purposes only.
This Nigerian cook survived 3 days in 100 feet deep shipwreck. One night, Harrison was in the toilet and heard voices from his crewmates yelling as the boat sinking. A few seconds later, water started getting in from under his feet, and he felt the boat flipping upside down. As the boat was sinking, he was able to find an air pocket, which allowed him to breathe for the next 3 days. The cook was able to survive on 1 bottle of Coke in complete darkness. And to make things worse, he could feel sharks rubbing against his legs while he was in the water. When all hope was lost, he heard banging on the outside of the boat and started seeing lights from divers getting closer to him. But then it started going away, so he decided to follow it. Apparently, the divers were looking for missing corpses. As the diver was swimming, he saw a hand and thought it was a corpse. But that hand started squeezing him, so he knew it was alive. So the diver called for backup and was able to save him.
Scientists?
That's crazy. We said that story, but that's crazy that the hair. I didn't give more details. I didn't know he survived off a bottle of Coke for like 3 days. And there's like sharks were rubbing up against his egg. Like, imagine just being in that situation. The mindset, you just trying to survive. You're in survival mode. And he saw the vegan diver, took his chance, man. Goes to show you sometimes, man, when you just see an opportunity, you gotta take it, because you never know what could happen. Ooh.
Scientists are planning to bring back these prehistoric animals. What do you guys think?
No.
I bet you didn't know that this animal can talk. Seals are found all over the world and are known to be cute, cuddly-looking creatures. However, it's recently been confirmed that seals are able to imitate human speech, much like certain kinds of birds. And in the 1970s, a man from the state of Maine in the United States took care of a baby seal that he found abandoned on the shore. The old man who found him named him Hoover, and he took care of him as his own pet for a while before he had to eventually give him up to a New England aquarium. However, what Hoover's owner didn't know is that while he was taking care of the seal, Hoover was listening to the man's speech patterns and was eventually able to replicate it. While living in the aquarium, Hoover began to imitate and mimic the sounds and speech patterns of his old owner. And he even spoke in a Boston accent just like his caretaker. Just listen for yourself.
Curious facts about Islam, let's go! In Islam, you have a jinn watching you 24/7 and he's looking at you right now. Say hi. In Islam, when you go to sleep, your soul leaves your body and you're pretty much dead until it comes back in the morning. In Islam, jinns sit on your chest while you sleep and they can cause sleep paralysis. In Islam, when a bad person dies, they can see the angel of death in the form of a terrifying monster and he rips their soul from their body while they die screaming like a little baby. And in Islam, on the Day of Judgment, God will show everyone's private sins on a big screen and your family and friends will see what you did in private.
Psychology hacks you need to know. If you want to make someone uncomfortable, look at their forehead while you're talking to them. If you want somebody to open up to you more, ask them a question, and if they only partially answer it, keep eye contact and stay silent. It will pressure them to talk more. If you want to be more persuasive, try and lose the words I think and I believe. When someone is touched on their shoulder or their knees, it creates a stronger emotional and physical bond with the person touching them. Chewing gum can help you when you're nervous because your brain thinks, well, I'm eating, I must not be in danger. If you walk up to a group of people and they turn their feet towards you, you are welcome. If they have their feet turned away from you, even if their body and head is turned towards you, they are uncomfortable with you walking up. Subtly nodding when someone is talking to you indicates to that person that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say and they're gonna like you more. Follow for more.
Okay. That's just in facts. She said that does make sense. Saying the name, I guess, building up the bond, friendship. If you're trying to, I guess, become closer to a person, use the actual name instead of the same bond. That sounds kind of cool. If you, I guess, throw their name in there, it gives a sense of familiarity. All right, bro. These facts we're learning. Tap in with us, man. I learn new stuff every day watching the videos with you guys, man. I'm a fellow seeker as well.
Unfortunately, on Saturday, April 20th of this year in Newport, Michigan, a child's birthday that's supposed to be filled with joy was then filled with sadness and grief. 66-year-old Marcella Chidester drove her car into Swan Boat Club where a birthday party was being hosted. There, she unalived 2 children and injured 13 other individuals.
Damn.
Later in court, she testified stating that she had a seizure while she was driving and that caused her to have the accident. But police testified stating that she was tested for alcohol and she was highly intoxicated at the time of the crash. Her lawyer then claimed she did have 1 glass of wine before getting behind the wheel, but police said based on her BAC, blood alcohol concentration, it's impossible she only had 1 drink. As of April 23rd, she's being held on a $1.5 million bond and is being charged with murder. Being that this case is so recent, her exact jail sentence has not yet been determined. The 2 victims are 8-year-old Lana Phillips and her younger brother, 4-year-old Zane Phillips.
Damn.
I put a link to a GoFundMe in the comments section for this family, and in the meantime, how long do you think Marcella should receive in jail?
For years, we searched for her remains, tracking down every lead. This search continues. Every year, we honor Jennifer on her birthday. September 27th, 1968. On that day in September, her children, her sister, her friends, and I crossed the street from my apartment and we walked to Central Park, carrying purple balloons, Jennifer's favorite color. We sit on benches and using markers, we write messages to her. Then we let the balloons go and watch as the wind lets them float to the sky. We watch them until the balloons disappear. Jennifer filled her children with love, wisdom, and humor. Jennifer would have been very proud of her children's accomplishments. They will always have their memories of her, as do I.
If you want to...
Crazy. Sad story. So this is an edit, bro. We can clearly see. What's the point of these anime edits? This is an anime edit, too. Yeah. You know, however we can call them out, man. If you guys see any edits, man, throughout the video, just call them out in the comments down below, man. I might miss some. You guys can probably pick up on it, too. You guys been watching for a minute, man, so you guys are experts as well. What anime is this that they're showing? It's like a loop or something? predictable. Yep, this is damn it. This is it. This gives at least give us a heads up, man, if we know when the edit's coming. Some of this can be useful though, if they have like, you know, useful information or a story behind it. Just gotta know what type of edit it is.
Without having to resort to any tricks.
A lot of it's done on foot. A lot of people, because a lot of drug-dependent people walk up to a house or to a car and buy drugs. So first thing I do is I go over to my class and I just want people. So I eliminate all the car noise. So now I just have the people that go through the scene in the 24-hour span of time. And I'm actually watching that in 9 minutes and 44 seconds. So I figure out now the next thing I want to do is where do these people go the most? So I use the pass. And right then and there, I have my drug deals in seconds because there's the frequency meter right there, and I can see the pass. So these two houses were in concert. We did search warrants on these later. But I also want to know, just for my own edification, how many people just go to that little door, like right there, every day? How many people go into that intersection? And this time that went a little higher, it's 400 because they cross underneath there too. So you can see every one of these people walking, and all these people are going, and the car are going right to that. Look at that. Does that look like a regular house to you, or does that look like a drug bar?
Now, I don't know how common this is, if this is everywhere by now or not, but if that shit is real, man, that is crazy. Dude literally tracked people just off of movement patterns and figured out exactly what was going on and who was selling what. That is way more advanced than just speeding tickets, man. What is going on here?
We're looking at the latest model of robotic bird spying drones. This footage comes from research published in the prestigious scientific journal Nature. This next gen of bird drone can not only fly like a bird, but walk and perch like a bird as well. Although these drones are getting better by the day, this concept is not new. Bird animatronics go back hundreds of years. But now these centuries-old curiosities are evolving into something far more advanced. Spy tech that can blend in with nature and be almost indistinguishable from real birds. I wonder how many bird spy drones are already out there.
How many do you think is out there, Seekers, bro? That's crazy to think about, man. That our robotics has come so far, bro, that it actually blend in with nature, and you couldn't tell the difference between a real bird or that it could be a drone, man. Once again, bro, adapt. He was right about the pigeons, bro. If you know, you know.
Bill Gates is funding a new meat company that uses lab-created cells that never stop dividing. Kind of sounds like cancer. Well, because it is. Now, this is literally an infinite, eternal, biological creature of an engine that endlessly spits out animal tissue without needing a new creature. Where are we as humanity? Like, get this man out of the health sector. First of all, it actually holds the same biological DNA of aggressive cancers and tumors, and they're marketing it to us as regular meat. You know, can we do something? Can't please. I have to buy cows now. Where am I going to buy cows? At least it's not crickets yet, but I know he's going to get us into crickets. This is my driver. You guys, stop getting oh, but it has protein in it. That thing is not natural. That's not natural. We do not need to create an amoeba of meat, mystery meat. You know, I just can't imagine what that actually looks like.
Won't be eating that. Hell no.
Here, check it out, family. This person happened to catch this damn invisible aircraft in Argentina last night. And I have to say this, there's been a lot of stranger things going on in the sky where a plane from New York headed to Chicago had to get grounded in Detroit and all the feds was around it on Fulton Gray. Shit is crazy.
It is officially begun. Today, India has started their attempt at the impossible, trying to count their entire population in the biggest census the world has ever seen. And they better lock in, because it's even more insane than it sounds. Not only do they have to count an estimated population of 1.5 billion people, that's nearly 20% of the entire planet, but also they're aiming to ask each citizen a series of 33 questions relating to things like housing, internet access, living standards, and so on. That would be a total of 49 billion questions. And that's not even the craziest part, because despite the introduction of some digital methods to try and make this census less complicated, a significant chunk of it will still need to be done the old-fashioned way. Door-to-door surveys. And just so you guys understand, in India, there's approximately 600,000 villages, some of which are located in extremely remote areas like the Himalayan mountains, which can only be reached on foot. So, to carry out this monstrous task, India have appointed an army of 3 million officials. That's like the equivalent of the entire population of Jamaica, all doing one job. And they have been given just 1 year to complete probably the most logistically complicated task in history. So, India, we wish you good luck. You're gonna need it.
Good luck.
We've successfully subscriptionified our entire lives. Like, really, when you think about it, pretty much everything now is a subscription. Literally, just existing is a subscription. Oh, do you want to be alive for another month? Pay our monthly fees. All of your basic necessities in life have become a subscription. Even like your rent. It's a monthly fee that you pay that you have to renew at the end of the year, and then they're just going to increase the price with absolutely no improvements to the product, and you have no choice because you don't want to move, or it's too expensive to. Even your subscriptions have become a subscription. They're just like, oh, are you having a hard time paying your monthly subscriptions? Well, here's an app to finance your monthly subscriptions through a monthly subscription. There's no escaping it. And by the way, they're not done. They're just getting started. Everything is, they're going to have to start having like subscription babies, subscription spouses, where they give you like a checkbox and you order one in the mail, and then you can have the option to renew after a year if you don't like it. Which that actually sounds kind of good now that I think about it.
You was hitting the nail on the head, man, about everything becoming a subscription, though. You can't lie, Seekers, man. Literally now. Everything is a subscription, bro. It's like ever since, man, they introduced, I don't know, like, bro, streaming. I'm not talking about, like streaming, Twitch and stuff like that, but these streaming shows, man. Subscribe to HBO, Disney Plus, all those, subscription websites, man. And like you said, the fact that this was, he said, paid the subscription, the man to help manage your subscriptions. I've seen those commercials sometimes, and I just didn't put that together till now. And I'm like, so you're paying to help keep your subscriptions in check, so you're paying for a subscription for the subscription, bro. Mind-boggling.
Here we're making robots that are made of robots, which is why I call them nanomachines. So these robots are made out of modular parts that are themselves robots. And this means that if one part of the body is damaged or lost to injury, the rest of the body is fine. It survives. It continues to function. So we really wanted to create robots that were more resilient and that could evolve.
Smart.
We evolved these robots to move themselves through the world with a little bit of athleticism. So more athletic than any other modular robot has been on land, more athletic than any other evolved robot has been.
That's a great idea, bro.
Oh, let me tell you this. Right?
Yeah.
Take of this what you like.
Yeah.
I was in bed with a woman, and that's it. That's the end of my story. I was in bed with a woman, right? I'm lying on the pillow, and I'm looking at her face, right? Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian.
Now listen.
My face went, oh my God. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom! Take it, make of that what you will. That's what happened.
It happened again, y'all. The sky turned red again.
No way.
This time it's not Australia. This is the Greek island of Crete. Look at the sky, fool. Shit is red. Some places even turn orange. And they're saying this is from dust that was pushed over from Africa. I'm hearing it didn't just happen in Australia and Crete, though. I'm hearing other countries is experiencing the same thing. So I'm guessing all of this is caused by a dust storm. Right, okay. trying to make it seem like this is normal.
It ain't.
It's not, fool. How you gonna say it's normal when the people that live there is acting like this shit is not normal? They're looking at it, recording it like, bruh, this is not normal, fool. If and when this happen anywhere else, I'ma let y'all know. Let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. This shit crazy.
Why does the sky keep turning red? That's what I want to know. He says because it's a dust storm. Do you guys believe that, Seekers? If you guys wake up and you see the whole sky is red, man, what's your reaction? I definitely need to know now, bro. Australia, Crete. Who's next, man? I have no idea. Watered down gas. They still messing with the gas, bro. I'm going like 20 miles an hour. They just had to take it, go to the gas station, bro.
My way, I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. 26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt road she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept the bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
Delcia is one of dozens of landowners approached by an anonymous buyer, one of the major players in artificial intelligence, likely Google or Meta or Amazon, to purchase their land. The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not. We know whenever our food is disappearing, our lands are disappearing, and we don't have any water. And poison, we know we've had it.
Delcia's mom, Ida Huddleston, is now 82 years old. She says she does not need the money or the hassle. She was born on this land and she plans to die here, and she certainly does not trust the promises made by the AI companies or the people who want them to build here.
Smart.
So what do you say to the people who are in town that say, hey, this is going to bring jobs, this is going to bring economic prosperity?
I say they're a liar and the truth ain't in them, is what I say. It's a scam.
For Delcia, scam
She
or
know.
not, she says she's connected to her home like Scarlett O'Hara was in Gone with the Wind.
As long as she was attached to that land, her spirit never would die. That's the exact same thing for me right here. As long as I'm on this land, as long as it's feeding me, as long as it's taking care of me, there's nothing that can destroy me if I've got this land.
The U.S. buried 120,000 tons of nuclear waste under a concrete dome on a tiny Pacific island, and it is officially cracking open. This is obviously insane, but between 1946 and 1958, the United States detonated 67 nuclear bombs across the Marshall Islands. Some of them were actually 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima, and everybody should know how big that one was. Whenever they were done, they sent soldiers to scrape radioactive soil, debris, and plutonium off of 6 different islands, and then they dumped it all into one spot in a crater on a Tily Island. They then thought that it was a brilliant idea to seal it with an 18-inch concrete cap, and locals literally call this area the Tomb. And now, almost 50 years later, visible cracks are spreading across the surface. So, do we sense a problem Hello here. The island sits just 6 feet above sea level, and scientists are saying that it'll be partially underwater by the end of the century. So it's problem after problem after problem after problem. And the actual material that's inside the crater is plutonium-239. It stays radioactive for 24,000 years. A nuclear engineer said that no concrete structure on Earth could survive even a small fraction of that, and people still live 20 miles away and fish in that lagoon. And somehow, the moral of this entire story is, the U.S. says that it is not their problem anymore.
Yes, it is. What the hell? We need to fix that.
Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows? Neil Armstrong being the first man to walk in the room. Talk about a fish story. Man, and they're buying it. Okay, he said, what's going on with you, man? Your eyes are different. I don't exist. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh, stuff like that, make you happy and docile, so you don't know what's really going on.
Okay. Was he spitting? It's not pumping, but that number's still running up, bro. Y'all see that? Bro, what is up, bro? Everybody's trying to finesse with this gas, man.
It's cool. Like, even if he's saying something about you that's untrue, like, let him. Even if he's saying something about you that's true, let him. You know what I mean? Like, there's a adult in the room that comes and says, like, yo, your initial instinct is not worth it. You know what I mean? Because your initial instinct could lead to a movie that you've seen so many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And on top of that, just on a spiritual level, it's like, yo, what's that gonna do? Like, so I'm ramping it up on that verse to just give you insight. Yeah, you never really got that from me, but it's like, just to give you insight into, like, yo, that's how it feels. And I know people feel that and can relate to that, because it's like, yo, that's, you know, for better or for worse, that's a knee-jerk reaction to disrespect. You know what I mean? It's like it's a defensiveness.
Unwarranted disrespect. You know, I think you pointed out, like, look, when I was broke and struggling and trying to piece it together, like, I was on my own figuring that out, you know? So for you to then come at me now when I'm doing, like, something good for myself, it's understandable.
Yeah.
J. Cole. Saying some powerful words, man. You have to have restraint in this life, bro. If you just like react off of anything and everything somebody says or does to you, you might do something that's gonna cost you for the rest of your life, instead of just, you know, sitting back, thinking, being like, okay, you know what? It's not worth it. Just walk away, man. Imagine if the world had restraint, bro. Or if more people used it. We wouldn't be in the situations we would be in now.
Just saying the Cheetos survived, so maybe nobody should eat Cheetos, because this is what the rest of the house looks like. Yeah. So I'm fucking done eating Cheetos. Never eaten that shit again.
A man was just detained for breaking into Area 51, claiming that he worked for NASA and that he was investigating a time anomaly. Yeah, so this is a wild story from newly released body cam footage showing a man who tried driving past security at the Area 51 back gate back in January 2026, and this happened in the middle of the night. Which, if you didn't know, Area 51 is one of the most heavily guarded military installations on the planet. Like, if you put a foot over the gate, you're getting locked up or worse. And what he told the officers that stopped him is crazy. Basically, anytime they asked why he was there, he claimed that he was a contractor for NASA, and he had driven out there because of this time dilation anomaly. And he was saying this in a totally calm manner. He didn't come off as confused, and actually had 3 government badges on him. 1 for NASA, 1 for something called the Redstone Arsenal, and 1 for Army Material Command. Check this out.
Sounds weird, strange, but it's true. This is part of a time dilation facility, and we are experiencing this now.
Yeah, that's time dilation, Einstein's theory of relativity, and he's saying that he's experienced this kind of loop multiple times. Now, dispatch couldn't confirm if his credentials were fake or not, but they found this report of this same guy trying to get into the Nellis Air Force Base in Vegas the month before. Now, obviously, none of this is confirmed, and if this guy even works for NASA or not, or who he really is, but this footage is real, and the way he's talking doesn't sound like he's making things up in his completely calm demeanor, but who knows? Eventually, this guy is released, and he tells the deputies there that he'll be back again on the same date, like he's stuck in this loop. So, was this guy just making up this story, or does he know something that the rest of us don't?
He might.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, RS 25 inches. 4,
We have liftoff.
2, 1, booster ignition. And liftoff 2, now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
Back up on the moon again, man.
Good roll pitch.
Or are we?
Houston, now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis 2 mission route.
Integrity AMT high.
Everything's good.
On time passing 30 seconds. Integrity passes the ultimate vehicle. Target milestone. Mission control Houston see good performance. Engines, space launch system core stage. Integrity 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
I've been waiting not so patiently for Scientology to release the celebrities that were sitting in the front row of L. Ron Hubbard's birthday celebration this year. I think they had a celebration event in Los Angeles last Saturday, and then it looks to me like the celebration, the big one in Clearwater, is happening today, which I suppose is why I haven't seen any pictures yet. But I thought while we're waiting, we can look at who was front row last year. And of course, the most visible in all of the slideshow pictures was Elizabeth Moss. Elizabeth Moss is a second-generation Scientologist. People thought for a long time that maybe she wasn't super active in Scientology, but she has been attending a lot more events than usual and was pictured front and center. Sitting not too far down from her was Michael Pena. I just made a video about him and his journey in Scientology. And then close by are the people that piqued Michael Pena's interest in joining Scientology, and that is Jenna and Bodhi Elfman. People also thought that John Travolta had distanced himself from Scientology in recent years, but nope, there he is at L. Ron Hubbard's birthday celebration near Elizabeth Moss. And then not sitting in the front row, but at that same event, Erin Cairo from Braille Skateboarding got an award. I actually need to do a video on that soon because it's actually really sad how Erin Cairo basically gave up everything to run a Scientology center. I'll keep you updated with who we see in attendance this year.
I don't know nothing about Scientology except that one time I just kept seeing this a Tom Cruise meme, and I just looked up a video about Tom Cruise Scientology. I think I found out about that by watching Dragonfly, bro. It was like a Tom Cruise impersonator or something like that, and I just looked it up and it popped up. That's all I know about Scientology, man.
Yes, and with a will of their own, they can process raw data 1 million times faster.
22 Batman? You knew about this? You didn't tell us?
Prep time.
You put it in the cartoon so we could figure it out years later? Batman's been talking about AI when we were still kids. I knew it. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Batman doesn't know what he's talking about because he's a cartoon character, bro. It's not a game. He told us about AI since way back. The Matrix told us about AI since way back. Other places, people, and things told us about AI since way back. And nobody listened. You know what they thought? They thought they were just saying 2 letters out the alphabet. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got to know what it is. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see somebody say that AI was invented recently, prove it to me.
Right.
Hey, this gas station on Red Bridge, above the folks, we got this little box. Every time a car pull in, it say unlicensed vehicle temporary user. So if you got bad tags, you probably want to pull up here. Keeping the tags, but it's a comic in this motherfucker. Right here next to the radio station. Block cameras. I don't know if it's in the signals, dispatch or what.
Block cameras is big business, and they're starting to blow up. They're spreading everywhere, bro. And a lot of companies, they're working with them. They're making it easy to work with these companies. So this type of surveillance is going to be everywhere. It's like we living in this movie, you know? I'm like, what's the stop with this? Because I know this is going to go up. These flock cameras are going to be everywhere, you feel me? So flock safety is private right now. Of course, you can't buy it. It's only better EPs right now. But they said on the size question, flock has gotten huge. Recent reporting says it's used nearly by 6,000 U.S. law enforcement agencies and 12,000 corporate clients. So first of all, they're getting glitchy with 12,000 corporate clients. Sheesh, how much money are they making? I'm like, why they not telling more people about this? You know what I'm saying? They said they do tell people, but they do it through contracts, council votes, pilot programs, and police partnerships. But they say most people only hear about it. Like, if I'm making a video, this is the only time you gonna hear about it, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't deep diving into tech and stuff like that. But y'all drop some stocks or something like that I could catch on the investment tip before this goes all the way up, bro, before it becomes normal. Be like, yeah, I got a Ring camera, I got a flock camera, you know, like.
Rumored to be a whole flesh pit in Texas, but no one cares. And TikTok, these are just conspiracies that I'm bringing to light. Not saying that they're true, also saying I don't know if they're not. But does anyone think that that's not normal? There's even video games based off of this, and it's been rumored for a long time. If it did have some truth to it, then that would mean that Earth is alive in a being, or at least Texas. When you think about it, that's where the most oil comes from in the country, is Texas. So is it oil to us and possibly something else to Earth? I don't know, just a wild, wild thought. Like and comment and let me know what you think.
So are y'all aware that NASA is taking astronauts up to the moon today? Today, out of all days. Do you know what today is? Did NASA forget what today is? Today is April 1st. April Fools. So they plan on taking 4 astronauts to the moon on April Fools. I don't know what this is. This is not the spaceship that they're taking, but I'm looking at this junk right here. This is in Texas somewhere. Like, what is going on here? Is someone else planning to go to the moon too? But look at this. Even Google is ready to program you about the so-called moon landing that's happening on April Fool's Day. Bro, who do these people think that we are? And then not to mention, NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. And then the only thing that they're missing from the NASA logo is a picture of the snake. Y'all see the tongue of the snake right over here because they're liars. They're snakes. We already talked how the moon is a reflection of the map of the Earth. The moon is not a real entity. It is a plasma projection on the dome. The dome is a two-way mirror. Do y'all remember when Jeff Bezos paid for a group of celebrity women to go to space? Do y'all remember how long it took them to get to space? Apparently, it took 7 to 8 minutes after liftoff to get to space. And then not only that, they came back on the same day. What happened to moon missions taking months and months in order to be successful? Jeff Bezos got it like that? But at least this time they're taking a traditional rocket. We'll see how long it's going to take them. But the fact of the matter is, even NASA's director said that the technology that they needed to go to the moon, they got rid of it. So how are they going to the moon now? Y'all, today is April Fool's for a reason. Do not fall for this deception, bro. These people have been lying ever since they stepped off the slave ship called Jesus, and they are still doing it to this day, bro. The shit is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue.
Play this game. The game is called the Closet Game. To start the game, take a box of matches and go to your bedroom. Then turn off all the lights and make sure you're in complete darkness. After that, open your closet door and step inside and shut the door. Then stand in the darkness for approximately 2 minutes, facing the door. Then take one match out of the box and hold it in front of you and say, "Show me light or leave me in darkness." Now listen very carefully. If you begin hearing faint whispering, light the match immediately. But if you don't hear anything and the match does not ignite on its own, then turn around. If you don't light the match fast enough after hearing the faint whispering, you will then feel something grab you from behind, and you will then be dragged into eternal darkness by the demon. And whatever you do, do not stop playing the game once you begin.
The facts that you probably didn't know
I never
that
played
one
that.
day could save your life. Part 14. Ticks are way deadlier than people say they are. Lyme disease can quite literally stop your heart. If you get bitten, take it off immediately and go see a doctor. If you hear a baby crying outside, keep your door shut and dial 911. It's a trap. If you're trying to see if a mirror is two-sided, put your nail against the glass. If there's no gap between your nail and the reflection, run. If someone is stumbling around and sounds drunk but hasn't had any alcohol, ask them to smile. If one side of their face is drooping, get them to the hospital. They're having a stroke. There's a monument in Georgia that functions as a calendar, clock, and a compass. It also has instructions on it in different languages on how to rebuild society after an apocalypse.
Why the heck is that standing there? Who put that up? That last one got to me, man. If an apocalypse happens, bro, we having instructions on how to rebuild humanity. It seems like people in the past, they already knew the future was going to be doomed. That's a shame, man.
Here are facts you didn't know that one day could save your life. If you're ever buried in rubble, yelling will only waste your energy. Look for something to grab and tap in intervals of 3, and rescuers will notice this strange pattern. If a tornado looks like it's standing still, this means it's actually moving towards you. If your drink randomly smells like cinnamon, don't drink it. People often use it to cover up the scent of actual poison. If your house ever smells like fish for no reason, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's an electrical fire. If you ever wake up to the smell of gas, don't turn on a light. A spark from the light switch could blow up your entire house. Lying flat on your back is the best way to survive a falling elevator. If your hair suddenly stands up, duck and cover because you're about to be struck by lightning. If you ever fall off the edge onto the tracks, don't try and crawl back up. There's a crawl space built to go underneath in case this happens. If you ever get kidnapped into the back of a vehicle, disconnect the brake light wire so the cops will pull them over, then kick on the door to let them know that you're there.
Those are facts, man. We need to know. I hope y'all wrote those down, man. There were some of those will save your life.
The creepiest places in the world.
Talk about it.
Lake Natron, Tanzania.
Due to high levels of salt contents, everything that touches the lake turns to pure stone.
Hello, my friend. That is not accurate. Lake Natron is a mineral-rich lake in Tanzania. Despite its high pH levels, it has some animals that live in it, including the Alclepia fish. The misconception that it turns anything that touches it to stone comes from these photographs.
So it's cat.
Basically, animals pass away for whatever reason, fall into the water, and become like mummified. A photographer found such animals at Lake Natron, but placed them in a position so they look like they're alive for the sake of the photo, which led to some awesome results. Also, this lake is actually where flamingos go to mate. If you're there at the right time, you will see millions.
I never knew that, bro.
4 numbers you should never call, part 15.
This is the first phone number. This phone number was a human experiment during the World War II. They designed specific sentences to test how sound affected people in negative ways. So when you call this number, you will hear those sentences, which sound like a disturbing poem, recited by both male and female voices. This is the next phone number. If you call this phone number after midnight, you will be granted a wish. Once they pick up the phone, you just have to whisper your wish, but there will be a price. And the price is that you will be killed after some time. This is the next phone number. This type of numbers are extremely popular in Japan, and they allow you to talk with your doppelganger, and it is said that it can be a death curse. This is the next phone number. This is Murray's phone number from Stranger Things. When you call this number, you will first hear Murray yelling about his mother. Then he'll talk to Joyce and finally leave a disturbing message to you. This is the last phone number. This is the SCP number. When you call it, a voicemail will inform you that you have reached the SCP Foundation, and it will instruct you to leave the date, time, location, and a description of any incidents that you may have witnessed. Unsolved mysteries that will make your skin crawl. In early August 1963, 4-year-old Bobby Pankin and his family went on a hike in Washington State. There was a trail that led down to a waterfall that Bobby's mom wanted him and his brothers to see. And so she set off down the trail with her 3 boys, and their father stayed behind. As they headed down the trail, it became apparent that not many people ever went down this path. The forest was super dense and it was hard to see where to go. But once they found the waterfall, 4-year-old Bobby didn't really want to go down the hill to see it. And so his mother told their middle brother to stay behind with him. Bobby's brother didn't really want to babysit him while his mom and their older brother were down exploring the waterfall. And so after a couple of minutes, he decided to leave Bobby behind and go explore. Their mother was mad, and when they went back up the trail to find Bobby, he was gone. They searched and yelled out his name, but there wasn't any reply. Police conducted a 7-day search for Bobby, and they couldn't find anything. Nothing, not even blood, was left behind. And after almost 60 years, the mystery has never been solved. What do you think happened?
They just took the
One of the most scariest things, man. One of my most feared things, bro, is just like going out somewhere and just disappearing off the face of the earth. No contact, your family can't find you, nothing. That always gets me, seekers. Be careful where you out, man. You never know what could happen.
Annabelle doll out of her case again. Hey, you know this doll said to be one of the most haunted dolls in recorded history? So demonic that even looking at her can have you cursed. The craziest part is the last person who touched her and was leaving the museum was driving their car and swore they saw Annabelle in the backseat, causing them to lose complete control of their car and almost losing their lives. Just after touching the case, not the doll itself. But I guess my $1,000,000 question is, how is this wooden box keeping this demonic presence in? I understand that the box itself is blessed. Then my other question is, why are we moving the doll? Why are we trying to take it and put it in a new spot? You're just giving the doll opportunities. Now I'm gonna be honest, to the worker, to the person who's more or less risking their life taking this doll and putting it in a new case, you deserve a raise. Because even wearing gloves is not enough. Or are the Annabelle movies lying about how powerful she is? Because if a wooden box is able to keep this demonic presence in for so long, and have more or less no problems with it, and be able to be moved from box to box, is the Annabelle spirit actually that strong? Now me personally, I'm not going to test that theory. You cannot pay me enough to go and touch the Annabelle doll, let alone go see her. It's just not going to happen. It's just not something I'm going to do. In the Annabelle movies, she is the most powerful demon we've ever seen. But then in real life, we just have normal people moving here with no problem. Is she actually that haunted? I don't really know.
Yeah, he deserves a raise for moving that dog, because I would be like, no! Move it? No!
Crazy things happening in the world right now. This 6-year-old from the UK had her passport denied because she had the same name as a Game of Thrones character. An American Airlines flight made an emergency landing after some passengers noticed lice in another passenger's hair. A driver plowed into this woman's yard and then offered her $50,000 to not call the police. This Olympian's gold medal that he received in Paris this summer is already deteriorating. Disneyland offered a $69 ticket for their 69th anniversary this year to Anaheim residents only. A snake bit this man, so he decided to bite the snake back twice. The snake died and the man lived. Drugs were found disguised as Taco Bell burritos during a routine traffic stop in Tennessee. Microplastics were found in every human semen sample that was tested in a recent study. A recent investigation found that between January 2020 and October 2020, 1/3 of all misinformation posted on X was generated by 10 users from the US and UK.
That's a damn shame.
Left their baby unattended for up to 2 weeks. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised.
In 2014, Zachary Cohen met Cheyenne Harris, and a year later they had a daughter together. In 2016, Cheyenne became pregnant again, and Zachary had influenced her to use drugs even though she was pregnant. Cheyenne quickly became addicted, and she gave birth to a premature baby in the bathtub. Zachary started to have doubts if this was even his child because people were telling him that this child did not resemble him at all. On August 30th of 2017, Zachary came home from work. He made some food for his daughter, and he went straight to his bed without checking on his baby, Sterling. Around 11 a.m., Cheyenne came to tell him that their son had died. Zachary went into Sterling's bedroom to touch his forehead, and that is when he realized that Sterling was ice cold and there was blood coming from his mouth. Zachary called 911, and the autopsy revealed that Sterling's cause of death was homicide. He died from dehydration, malnutrition, and infection. Sterling had been left in a baby swing for up to 2 weeks. He sat in a diaper filled with feces, and he had a diaper rash so severe that it led to development of open wounds on his skin. And because of this, E. coli bacteria from the feces entered his bloodstream. Poor baby Sterling had crawling maggots on his skin, in his diaper, his clothes, and even on the swing. Zachary claimed that he never changed Sterling's diaper because he had a very weak stomach and that it was Cheyenne's job. It appeared that the couple cared for their daughter, but for some reason they neglected Sterling. 1-day-old diaper is going to be noticeable, so there's no way that they did not smell that heavy odor for up to 2 weeks. They simply just chose to ignore it. October 25th of 2017, both Zachary and Cheyenne were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Both have been found guilty and have been sentenced to life in prison. This case truly breaks my heart, and baby Sterling deserved better than this.
There might not be any animal alive with more aura than a black Air Force bull cut weasel. This is Stoffel the honey badger, one of the biggest menaces to walk the earth. You see, Stoffel had a problem. Shout out to Zev, y'all Senegal. Moving on up. Stoffel lived in the Mahala Hala Wildlife Center in South Africa, but the African bush pharaoh was like IBS. You can't stop him, you can only pray to contain him. Stoffel was a four-legged force of nature that escaped every single time. But there's a twist, remind me to tell you. Stoffel would often get out, break into the kitchen, and the same biracial badger that could 3v1 lions would chase kitchen staff around and then help himself to free food. Speaking of lions, one day Stoffel got into the lion den and nearly got mauled into an early life retirement, costing him 2 months in the hospital. First thing the monochrome crash out did when he got better was immediately try to get it back in blood. At one point, Stoffel ran a fade with a tawny eagle, that's a tawny eagle, and won, no foul. Stoffel climbed a tree and got out, so they removed all the trees next to walls. He broke off a branch, dragged it to a wall, and climbed out again, so they got rid of the trees. Stoffel stacked rocks high enough and Andy Dufresne his way out, so out went the rocks. So then Stoffel made mud balls, rolled them to the wall, and emancipated himself again. At some point, someone left a rake. Guess what the felony ferret did? At one point, they tried giving Stoffel a girlfriend named Hamby, and he proceeded to use her as a footstool to unlock his gate, so Bonnie done met her Clyde. One time, he broke into his keeper's house at night through a window. He didn't hurt anybody, but sometimes you gotta pop out and show ninjas. You remember that twist I promised? It was all a game. He had no intentions of ever leaving. He was hand-raised by humans as a baby and imprinted on people. He wasn't going nowhere. Yeah, this dusty Oreo otter was memeing the entire time, and I checked. He's still alive. He's pushing 26 and lost most of his teeth, but at least he has Hamby to chew it for him. Yeah, Stoffel got it.
Yeah, he does, bro. He definitely had Black Air Force energy, man. He was a menace, bro. What are the fees with lions?
The most advanced Tesla phone product of this century, owned by Elon Musk, branded Pi, is due to be launched in late 2024. The Pi phone has 3 outstanding features that other smartphones don't have. No need to charge the battery, as it uses solar power. It only needs light to charge automatically. No need to expose it to sunlight. No internet capability is needed, because Pi connects directly to Elon Musk's Starlink, which has a global coverage network. Thanks to Dr. Nicholas Koukoulas, the patent holder of Pi, and one of the CEOs of a company owned by one of the richest people in the world. Does it sound too good to be true? It will cost only $100. Now that's cheap. If you like this video, hit the like button and let me know what you think.
What angel? That does sound too good to be true, bro. No need to charge. The internet's free. That's only $100. It has to come with a cost, something like that, man. I learned that early in life. If it sounds too good to be true, there's a hidden cost behind it. Remember that, Seekers.
Actually look like.
This is what angels actually look like. Part 2.
Today we're talking about the cherubim, aka the Chimera Angel. And by the way, this is not a cherubim. The cherubim have 4 faces. The face of a human, the face of an ox, the face of a lion, and the face of an eagle. They have the body of a lion, the feet of an ox, and their 4 wings are covered in eyes. And when they fly, they emit balls of lightning and fire, which is convenient because they're essentially heaven's bodyguards. When Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, God placed a cherubim with a rotating fire sword at the garden's entrance, just in case Adam wanted the smoke, and they literally guard the throne of God. By the way, the reason why we think this is a cherubim today is because the Catholic Church didn't want to scare people away from Christianity during Renaissance Italy.
Here's what to do if you drop your phone in the toilet. First, get your phone out as soon as possible and dry the outside with something like a towel. Then power off your phone completely so you avoid short-circuiting it. Now, if you have an iPhone, take out the SD card on the side, but if you have a phone that lets you remove the battery, do that to allow more airflow so it can dry better. If you can, use a vacuum to suck out the water, but if not, tilt your phone side to side to allow the water to drop out. You may be thinking, Blue, what about putting it in rice?
Yeah.
Well, studies showed that the best and quickest way to dry your phone is to let it air dry with good air circulation.
This man went to hell for 23 minutes. Listen to how he describes the demons he saw in hell.
I was standing beneath this tunnel, like cavern walls that were sending upward, and all along the cavern walls were demons. Some were only 2 and 3 feet tall, some were 12 and 13 feet tall, but every one of them were twisted and deformed and grotesque, the most hideous looking creatures. And I noticed there were snakes crawling all over everything. And then I looked, and I was standing on a bed of maggots, just solid maggots crawling all over everything and everybody. But remember, Jesus said, where their worm dies not and the fire is not quenched. And he used the word maggot. And Isaiah 14:11 says, where the maggot will be spread under thee and the worm will cover thee.
This is no joke. Hell is a real place. Repent of your sins today and turn to Jesus so you never go there.
Do you guys think, Seekers, did he experience that, man? Like I said, you can't count out people's experiences, so that's what he said he saw. There can be some truth behind it, man. He actually went there, so did something happen to him and he came back to tell us the truth about what he saw?
Once again, when you talk about Aura, you better speak on this bear. This is the boss. That's his name, no relation. He's a 700-pound walking boulder of a bear and an anime plot device in a grizzly's body. The boss has been recorded catching, murking, and eating multiple black bears. In fact, one of the first times he was ever seen was next to an expired bear, and officials had to close down the trail until the boss was done eating it. At one point, the boss hit a train and was tragically put down. The train, I mean. Oh, you didn't hear me. I said the bear hit the train. Boss ate that like it was nothing. He even shows up to the same tracks just to eat the animals that weren't strong enough to survive what he walked off. As mentioned, Boss was roughly the size of 2 prime shacks. As a whole plus-size predator, he was and is the biggest bear in the area, and it's believed he fathered more than 70% of all the bears in the area code. Mind you, he's believed to be up to 27 years old. Hey, twins, when the average male grizzly bear lives to 25. Which means by the time getting jumped, this bear on a LeBron type of run. And you know a bear that survived a literal train barely second-guesses cars, and the boss regularly crosses high-speed highways. It's anime plot armor with predatory hardware. The boss even has his own antagonist. That would be this guy, Split Lip. They've been running things for years, and they've been in the same area for 15, so this beef may have marinated for over a decade. But I don't think Boss has taken an L yet. Boss from Bam better put some respect on the OG original Grizzly.
Places you should never swim. Part 1. Firstly, the boiling lake of Dominica. What makes it so dangerous is the boiling magma under the surface. It's so hot that swimming in it would burn all the skin off your body. Jacob's Well is a lake located in Texas. It's so clear that you can see right to the bottom. But if you ever swam down here, you wouldn't make it out alive. The lake is filled with hidden caves, so finding a way out would be nearly impossible. Finally, the Nile River. It's filled with crocodiles everywhere that could kill you. And if you somehow escape the crocodiles, you'll have to get through snakes. And as you try to get out, you'll run into at least 15 venomous...
Oof. I ain't even... I'll write that on my
There
list.
is a huge difference between angels in Islam and Christianity. And that difference is free will. You see, Islam and Christianity are both considered Abrahamic religions. They do share a lot in common. And so both religions speak of angels. Angels in Islam were created from light with the sole purpose of obeying God. In fact, they are incapable of committing sins, as they have no free will. In Christianity, angels are capable of sinning. In fact, many that have disobeyed the will of God have been banished from the heavens and are referred to as fallen angels. Which brings us to another very big difference. The devil in Christianity is understood to be a fallen angel. He's referred to as Lucifer. Now, but in Islam, the devil or shaitan is actually a jinn. And I'll discuss what a jinn is very soon.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. A nursing assistant said that she was in a long-term patient's room changing the sheets. The patient would periodically look behind her. She asked the patient what was wrong, and the patient looked in her eyes and asked, "He doesn't scare you?" The nurse was confused, and she asked her who she was referring to, and the patient said, "The big man in the top hat. He's standing right behind you." She said that she doesn't think that she has ever finished changing a bed sheet and repositioning a patient as fast as she did that night. She refused to go into that room by herself for the rest of her shift. Linda Johnson, a former nurse, said that she had a gentleman in his late 90s who was dying. He started screaming blood-curdling screams, so they raced to his room. He was screaming that the room was on fire and that there was a man with large horns peering out of the flames. He kept pointing to one wall, saying that it was on fire. The nurses turned on the lights and tried to calm and console him, but to no avail. Instead of being consoled, Linda said that he told her that she was on fire and that he could see her being consumed by flames. Linda said that it was the creepiest thing that has ever happened to her. The doctor was notified, but nothing relieved the patient's terrifying hallucinations. He died soon after. Cynthia said that several years ago, her 20-year-old daughter had brain surgery. She got an infection of the spinal fluid. She was there in grave condition for a month. Cynthia never left her daughter's side. One night, the worst night at this point, she asked who the man in black was that was standing by the bathroom and why Cynthia's deceased brother, the girl's uncle, was standing next to her at the side of the bed. Cynthia immediately got the chills. She told her daughter, "They're not here." Then she told her brother and the man in the black, whom she couldn't see, "You both have to go now. She's not ready to go and I'm not ready to let her go." After that night, her daughter started to get better and better each day. Today, her daughter is doing well.
Weird story.
It makes in 15 seconds and then add 40, you get the temperature of the environment in degrees Fahrenheit, which is really interesting. Also, we genetically modified a few goats to produce spider silk in their milk. So if you skim the top of the milk, it's covered in spider silk, which is actually really useful because spider silk is one of the strongest materials that we have access to, at least under tension. It's not like good under compression or anything like that, but it's stronger than Kevlar under tension. If you were an insect, I think that you'd have a lot more respect for how truly terrifying some insects are, like dragonflies or ladybugs, or especially praying mantises. But I think ladybugs in particular have like this, cutesy little image by like us humans, but like they're like alpha predators. They kill like thousands of bugs in a single lifetime, you know? And dragonflies would especially be terrifying, especially dragonfly nymphs, which is a weird way to think of things, but the dragonfly nymphs are way more deadly than adult dragonflies. They just happen to be really small and only live in the water, and because we're big and not an aquatic insect, we don't really recognize them as the terrifying predators they are. But I think they deserve more respect. Praying mantises too, although I think praying mantises do already kind of get more respect as like the vicious predators they are, but I just think they're all so cool, you know? They're so tough and small.
Her arms were cut off and somehow she was still able to escape and survive.
Oh.
Mrs. Mary Vincent, she was born in 1963 and was living in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mary's parents were going through a very messy divorce and she decided that she wanted to hitchhike to her grandfather's home in Berkeley, California. Once Mary was in Berkeley with her grandfather, she started to become homesick and decided that she was going to hitchhike back. Eventually, she came across Lawrence Singleton and he offered her a ride. Mary accepted the ride from Lawrence because he seemed like a sweet old man, but once he started going the wrong way, she grew suspicious of him. Mary starts to have this gut feeling that something is wrong and she's trying to think of ways that she can escape from Lawrence when he knocks her unconscious with his sledgehammer. Once Mary had regained consciousness, Lawrence had tied her up and SA'd her. Mary is now pleading with Vincent to please let her go and she will not say anything. And he replies to her saying, "You want to be set free? Don't worry, I'll set you free," and he chops off both of her arms. He then throws her down a cliff, stuffs her in a cement cylinder, drives off, and leaves her for dead. Somehow Mary was able to survive the fall and climb back up the cliff despite her injuries. Since Mary was bleeding out, she was able to dip the stumps of her forearms in mud and held them up to slow down the bleeding. Mary was walking along Interstate 5 for about 3 miles until she was able to get the attention of a couple who was able to get her medical help. As soon as Mary was in the hospital, she immediately worked with police to help identify and find her attacker, and she even postponed her sleep to make a sketch of what her attacker looked like. Once Lawrence was arrested, Mary testified in court, and he even told her in front of everybody that once he was out of prison, he was going to finish her. Lawrence was sentenced to 14 years in prison, and after 8 years, he was freed. Since Lawrence was out of the world again, he did not learn his lesson. He attacked a mother of 3 and then took her life. Mary ended up testifying against him once again, and he was sentenced to death. But before he could be executed, he ended up dying on death row from cancer.
All the foods that I love are tainted, y'all. I'm not even joking. This right here makes me so mad. Like, we just got these. And y'all can plainly see there's nothing white on top of this oatmeal cream pie.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So y'all check this out. Look at that. What in the hell is going on? Y'all, I don't care what anybody says in the comments. That's not normal. I don't care. That's not normal.
It's contaminated.
I mean, it's only certain parts of it. Even the cream on the inside, you can't see it, it's smashed, but it don't even glow, and it's white. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. It's blown my mind. Like, when I'm done doing these series, I'm not going to be able to eat nothing.
Me either. I'll have to stay on this.
That's insane, y'all. Like, this makes me so mad. This is approved by the FDA. Millions of people eat these. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody in the South eats oatmeal cream pies pretty much. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'm going to start doing restaurant foods. And then we'll go from there. I mean, what can you do? I wanted to share that with y'all. Here y'all go. Oatmeal cream pie under a black light. That's crazy.
Have you seen the video of the alien walking the streets of Atlanta? Don't know what I'm talking about? Take a look at this.
Hey, space guy, man. Hey, bro, hey, can you tattoo alien flesh? Yeah, I guess, right? Hey, yeah, but I'm trying to get 2 teardrops, but okay, dog. I took out the 4 whole solar system, but hey, come out, well, you know I need a teardrop big time, well. What's that, Zola? Yeah, well, RP Zola, you know I'm going for you, RP that,
What?
People in Atlanta are starting to believe that we have a real alien living amongst us and walking amongst us.
Yeah, well, RP Zola, you know I'm going for you, RP that.
I think this is some kind of costume, bro.
Hey, well, I'm still sitting behind that shit. Hey, man. Shit, y'all licking shit.
So if you're from the Atlanta area, let me know if you've run into the alien from Atlanta, and what are your thoughts? Real, or is that some type of costume? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
That's definitely a costume, man. He's in Atlanta. He need to hop on the stream with Kai, bro.
Nobody but me find this story crazy. This baby right here was technically conceived in 1994, but now born in 2024. Let that sink in. This baby was sitting in a freezer for 30 years. This baby has been in the freezer as long as some of y'all been alive. I'm talking about a full embryo in a cryogenic sleep for 3 decades, y'all. I only heard about this shit on sci-fi movies.
Yep.
But this is real life. These people trying to play God. Bruh, this baby has been frozen since Bill Clinton was the president. This shit is crazy, fool. And a couple out of Tennessee that did this. This baby got to skip out on a lot of shit that was going on. But it's crazy for them to have this baby now in this era. Cause I know this baby like, what the fuck? Now, I don't know what's wilder. The fact that this baby survived on ice for 30 plus years? Or the fact that the scientists let this happen in the first place? Imagine telling these people, I want my baby to be frozen for 30 years and then I'm gonna have him. Do y'all know how crazy that shit sound? They already unlocking the next level of human cloning at this point. Then what I think about now is, I know this is not the only baby that's frozen. If they did it to this baby, how many other babies is frozen? This might be a newborn baby, but I'm telling you, this junk gonna come out with an old soul. Something nobody has ever seen before.
Tay just made an OnlyFriend. And not only did she just make $1 million in 3 hours, the pictures that Lil Tay is posting is not only concerning, but also scary. As soon as she turned 18, she did exactly what Bad Baby did. And first off, I need to know who the people who are subscribing to this, because they need to be put on a list. But they just got what they deserved after the pictures that they actually got from Lil Tay. And this is where it gets more worse. A lot of people thought that she took these pictures before she turned 18, and that the dudes that are buying this are literally spawn camping, because she has been talking about this for the past few weeks, and some of these people that have been saying that they've been waiting for this make me sick to my stomach. And thank God Lil Tay said that all of this was filmed after she turned 18, because she has been on the internet for so long, and the people that are consuming this new Lil Tay content have probably known who she is for a while now. But this is where it gets even more insaner. I wish I could make $1 million in 3 hours, and literally everybody on the internet is saying that all the pictures that Lil Tay is posting is literally nothing special. Basically posting glorified Instagram pictures. Do you feel bad for Lil Tay? Let me tell you some.
That's just insane, man. This is the society we live in, bro.
Interesting things that I just learned. Tears that are triggered by sadness, happiness, and onions all apparently appear different under a microscope. Bras were called breast bags in medieval times. A skyscraper called walkie-talkie, I guess because it looks like one, was melting cars and damaging buildings due to its ability to focus sunlight because of the concave shape that it was built in. That's just unfortunate, putting all that work in. Oh my goodness. 2 men climbed Mount Everest and then paraglided off the summit, touching down over 19 miles away in only 42 minutes, which allowed them to avoid the potentially deadly 3-day descent. Now that's what I call a shortcut. The Big Zero is a soccer stadium in Brazil where the midfield line is basically aligned with the equator, which causes each team to defend one hemisphere or the other. American Airlines saved $40,000 by eliminating one olive from its first-class salads back in 1987. So that $40,000 was worth a lot more than it is now. The guy that named the movie Cars got a $300,000 bonus and reportedly was paid over $700,000 a year. Sometimes simplicity is just the way to go. Cars. Bulgaria sold 213,000 Bitcoin in 2018, which would now be worth $25 billion and actually would be more than enough to clear their entire national debt.
How is time travel not real? When James Franco and his brother are in a magazine from 1972. Watch this. Old, adult magazine from 1972. That is James Franco and his brother. You can't convince me otherwise.
Similarities, I see.
Either they are time travelers or immortal vampires who never unalive, ever. Either way, it's super crazy. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay weird.
There's this girl on TikTok who is claiming to have proof that her neighbor is watching her through her window. At first, I didn't see what everybody else was seeing. I didn't know what they were talking about. Turn up the brightness on your phone. Then throw the phone out the window. A full-blown face in the window. People were in the comments and they were like, why haven't you contacted the police about this? Other people in the comments were saying, she did. The police are not following up on it. Like pulling that card like, is this person actively trying to break in? Has this person caused you harm before? That's why they're not doing anything. What would you do in this situation?
Imagine a bakery making you a sandwich that pisses you off so bad, you come back 4 years later to stab somebody. That's exactly what happened in this case. 2 deli workers were stabbed over an angry customer that had a bad sandwich from here 4 years ago. And it wasn't that it tasted bad. The customer had a certain allergy to something. However, he was served that thing anyways and it made him sick. So he was plotting and scheming like the damn Joker for years. And I need to emphasize again, this was 4 years ago. It happened in Paterson, New Jersey. The 2 brothers that owned the bakery were the ones attacked. Their names are Assad and Mohammed. They've owned the bakery for decades. Suspect apparently confronted one of the girls that was working there, and then he used a box cutter to attack the brothers. Also, to be clear, 4 years ago, they tried to make it right with the guy. You know, the order was wrong, they acknowledged that. They even offered to give him, like, free stuff and, like, other things like that. They even offered him more compensation just because, you know, he had an allergic reaction, but he refused. Now, for the sandwich in question, he ordered an egg sandwich years ago, but he got an eggplant sandwich, and apparently he's allergic to that. As for the brothers that got stabbed, they're being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. They're hospitalized right now, so, I mean, I'm glad they're okay. This might be the crash out of the week. I would say crash out of the century, but people crash out crazy every week and they surprise me.
I fell into the Stillwater. Help! Yep, we're talking about Stillwater again today. Here is a flooded bank vault with a bunch of Stillwater and probably more brain-eating amoebas than dollars. Who wants to go into the flooded cellar of doom that probably has Pennywise in it and Stillwater? I don't remember why I saved this. This isn't even Stillwater. That's just a creepy lizard. This Stillwater Ussie. And here is a picture of some Stillwater with its bacteria in it. That is vile. Here's Stillwater under a microscope, in case you were wondering. Do not ever jump in that stuff. You will be, unfortunately, exited from this earth. This looks like my matcha water that I drink every day. But you know what? I'm not gonna let it stop me from loving matcha. That giant pipe in that Stillwater like that looks disgusting. Look, it's a pool full of Diet Coke.
No,
it's
it
not
ain't.
Diet Coke. And once again, this water looks like if you fell in it, you would become the Hulk or Shrek. And the worst photo of Stillwater that has ever existed. I don't know where this is, but there is at least 5 billion diseases in that little pool alone. How do you feel?
The Grand Canyon is on fire. In fact, it's been on fire for almost a month. And it's not even like it's small. Over 1,000 firefighters have been struggling to contain 2 fires. One called White Sage, we'll get to that, and the other called Dragon Bravo, which are on and around the North Rim. So far, they've burnt the equivalent of 113,000 football fields, destroyed close to 100 structures, including homes of park officials, a visitor center, a gas station, a water plant, and even the historic Grand Canyon Lodge. And the reason you may or may not have seen people freaking out about this on TikTok is because white sage is a sacred medicinal plant, often burnt by Native American tribes for cleansing and purification. Lord knows we need some of that right now. And authorities currently believe that both fires were started by lightning, believe it or not. Oh, they really don't want us to see August. The white sage fire is currently 83% contained, while Dragon Bravo, on the other hand, is only 4% contained. And recent reports say that it tripled in size in just 3 days. See you in August. Hopefully.
They're saying that one person is dead and 22 people are sick from Legionnaires' disease in Harlem. And if you don't know about Legionnaires' disease, it's not a disease that spreads from person to person. It's a bacteria that spreads like mist. So this bacteria is often found in water, and it usually hides in cooling towers on the top of buildings. The same cooling towers that gives building air conditioning, which means the mist from those air conditionings spreads throughout people. And that's how Legionnaire disease goes from person to person. So basically, you can be walking past one of these places and take a deep breath, and that bacteria can go into your lungs and you're infected. And this infection is sort of like pneumonia. And when some people acquire this bacteria, they don't make it. So if you're having pain in your chest, diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, fevers or chills, you might need to go see a doctor. Because again, 22 people are sick and one person has already lost their life. And of course, we're talking about New York City. We're talking about Harlem. That means that there's a lot of people walking around through these areas and they don't even know this is happening. Pay attention.
An orangutan was kept in a brothel, dressed up, and forced to live like a human. Pony was taken from the wild as a baby in Borneo after her mother disappeared. Instead of freedom, they trapped her in a place where she was treated like a possession, but not kindly. They kept her in a brothel made to wear clothes and makeup and forced her to be around people all day long. The really sad and disgusting part is this wasn't a secret, this wasn't hidden. Many people in the village knew what was happening. In fact, when a team arrived to rescue her, they faced resistance. Some locals did not want Pony to leave. It took a huge effort from a lot of people to be able to bring her to safety. So sad. Like, after the rescue, Pony was deeply traumatized. She even forgot how to behave like an orangutan and had to relearn basic skills like eating natural food or climbing trees. Tony's story really shows us why protecting wild animals and their home is so important. This is not the only story like this, as crazy as that is. Without this kind of protection, animals can suffer in ways that people could never even imagine. What do you think should be done to help animals like Pony? Follow for more.
Apparently there's
Good thing Pony's free.
that went on 4chan recently, a couple weeks ago, and he's like, they found in this cave in Antarctica this egg-shaped UFO looking thing, which that's what we talked about a week ago.
Yeah.
And apparently after this came out, it gave this one guy the courage to disclose this stuff that they found in Antarctica, supposedly, of this same egg-shaped UFO that they found. But what's also strange is we talked about the hieroglyphics that a lot of people reported seeing on these UFOs. Same thing happened with this UFO, where there's really weird hieroglyphics all over it. Also, there's like a weird catacomb or like a coffin. It looked like a marble sarcophagus, very similar to the one that we talked about in Russia where that lady was in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first picture, some of it looks almost like Hebrew.
Yeah.
That looks just like that letter in Hebrew. That one. Super weird, but apparently they're calling him an alien, but he looked like a tall, Nordic-looking man, very pale skin, long blonde hair, 7-8 feet tall, was in that sarcophagus, woke up, and was conversing with them.
Robots are...
So we got freaking alien eggs in Antarctica. You know, some weird things be going down there, but that's my first time hearing about it.
stealing human jobs faster than anyone predicted, and 8 major industries just proved human workers are becoming completely obsolete. Waymo autonomous taxis are already serving 200,000 paid rides per week with 0 human drivers, while Amazon deployed 750,000 warehouse robots that sort packages faster and more accurately than any human worker. In China, robotic gas station attendants refuel cars without human help, and robot chefs trained on 5 million recipes are cooking restaurant-quality meals with perfect precision every single time. Boston Dynamics robots are now operating professional film cameras and performing backflips while capturing movie scenes, completely replacing human camera operators who spent decades mastering their craft. The most terrifying example is robots repairing high-voltage power lines because utility companies realize machines never get electrocuted, never fall, and never demand overtime pay or health insurance. These aren't prototypes or future concepts. Every single one of these robots is working right now, earning money for companies while human workers get laid off and replaced. From taxi drivers to warehouse workers to professional chefs, robots are proving they can do almost every job better, faster, and cheaper than the humans who used to do them. The job apocalypse isn't coming in 10 years, it's happening today, while most people are still pretending their careers are safe from automations. Which job will be the last one that robots can't steal from humans?
What do you guys think, Seekers, man? That's scary, bro. Robots are just infiltrating the jobs and taking them all away from humans, man. That's crazy, bro. No industry is safe. Guess some, maybe like probably like sports, maybe entertainment. I don't know, but who knows, man? Maybe they probably gonna try to infiltrate those fields as well. Be careful out there, man. If you have a job, like we gotta think of a side hustle or something.
Fire is active, and I think we have reached the point of no return. We have been having earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. This one is in the U.S. Back to back to back earthquakes, and these are not little earthquakes either. Ring of Fire having so much activity that a 500-year-old volcano just erupted in Russia. Let's not forget to mention all of the other volcanoes that's waking up across the world too. And I told y'all we was gonna start seeing a lot more activity after them underwater currents did a reverse. This is what caused the day after tomorrow to happen. Go watch this movie. We have been getting hit with non-stop earthquakes all over the world. Now, know this is the part of the video where I bring up Matthew 24, nation rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and it be earthquakes in strange places. Those are the signs of birthing pains. Keep making videos and letting y'all know that we on borrowed time, gang. It's time to get your life right with Jesus, because all of these earthquakes that's happening, volcanoes erupting, just signs of the second coming. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about these earthquake swarms that's happening all across the world in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom. Stay tuned. And remember, if you want to grow your social media and get paid a passive revenue, comment down below, hub, and I'm going to send the resources in your DMs.
Here's every celebrity that Trisha Paytas has reincarnated in her womb. The dates and the times of these coincidences are insane, and why she decided to get her tubes removed, therefore never giving birth or reincarnating ever again. So just yesterday, it was announced that Trisha Paytas gave birth to her third child, a boy named Aquaman. And no, I'm not kidding. And when it was announced that Aquaman was born, literally, it was uncanny how the announcement of Ozzy Osbourne's death was announced 1 minute before. You could not make this stuff up. And in all seriousness, RIP to Ozzy Osbourne. But what's even crazier is that, guess who hosted Ozzy Osbourne's farewell concert just a couple weeks before he died? Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman. And then Ozzy Osbourne gets reincarnated into Aquaman. And this is how Ozzy is living it up now. He's already in his little Aquaman suit. Trisha put on her Aquaman shirt right after giving birth. He's really going off the rails on a crazy train now. And Trisha's response to her most recent reincarnation was liking a comment that said, "You should have taken Trump, not Ozzy." Now this whole Trisha Paytas' womb is the portal to reincarnation conspiracy theories started when Queen Elizabeth died on September 8th, 2022. And then Trisha Paytas' first child, Malibu Barbie, was born on September 14th, 2022.
I don't understand why my womb is carrying all these souls.
Now, a lot of people thought Trisha Paytas' second child, Elvis, was actually the reincarnation of the Pope, but the Pope actually died a little bit too early for that to be the case. Trisha Paytas' second daughter, Elvis, is actually the reincarnation of O.J. Simpson, who died just a couple weeks before she was born. But sadly, this conspiracy theory that Trisha Paytas always gives birth right when a very notable public figure dies and reincarnates them is now coming to an end because Trisha said she had to get her tubes removed because she's had 3 C-sections and it wouldn't be safe or optimal for her to give birth again, so her and her doctors decided to remove her tubes after her last birthing of Aquaman. And I love how Trisha has always been in on the joke. She knows the internet just likes to have a little bit of fun.
The whole movie was a metaphor for using artists to bring people to the dark side.
Oh, that's
the whole movie was a metaphor. I watched it again recently, and it clicked in my head, bro. In that one scene, remember what happened when the main vampire was saying, "Just give us Sammy, and then we'll leave you guys alone." Yeah, Sammy. Yeah,
Sammy. You're the one I came for. I want to see my people again. I'm trapped here, but your gifts can bring them to me.
He said I just want Sammy for his talent. Okay. So he wanted his talent. Why? Because the way he was attracting more and more people was through music. Through music, using musical artists because it's a spiritual thing regardless, but you can manipulate where they go.
Oh, that's so much.
And they use songs and music in worship. They use it everywhere. Yeah. But they also use it in the clubs and parties, right? But if the things you guys are chanting together are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that energy is coming towards you guys, and if it's violent things, it's like casting a spell.
Insane Lawsuits, Part
Right in
1.
front of us.
In 2009, a Canadian woman named Karen Salas sued Keanu Reeves for $150,000 a month in child support and $3 million in spousal support, claiming he had fathered her 4 adult children. She alleged that Reeves had used hypnosis and even shapeshifting to disguise himself as her ex-husband before impregnating her. Reeves denied ever meeting her, and a DNA test confirmed he was not the father. Despite Salas' bizarre claims that the DNA test was tampered with, the judge dismissed the case as baseless and a waste of court resources. Reeves later referred to the ordeal as horrible. Anna Ayala famously sued Wendy's after claiming she found a human finger in her bowl of chili, but investigators soon discovered she planted it herself. It was a severed finger she received from a friend who had lost it in a workplace accident. She was later sentenced to 9 years in prison for attempted grand theft. In the 90s, a student named John Leonard tried to claim a Harrier jet that Pepsi jokingly offered in a commercial for 7 million Pepsi points. He legally submitted enough money to buy the points, but Pepsi refused. Leonard sued, but the court ruled that the ad was clearly a joke and dismissed the case, saying no reasonable person would think a military jet was a real offer.
4 bodies, all found within close proximity of one another and within a 4-day window. This is weird. It has been quite a chilling week for the North Yorkshire seaside town of Whitby. Personal favourite of mine, actually. Just listen to this. On July 30th, 2 bodies were airlifted to hospital. 1 male, 1 female. That was from point 1. It was believed that the pair had fallen off the cliff, and the police said there was nothing suspicious. The very next day, July 31st, a woman in her 60s was found at the bottom of the cliffs at point 2. Police deemed it to be consistent with falling from a height and then ruled it not to be suspicious. Then on Saturday, August the 2nd, the body of a woman in her 50s was found at point 3. Again, her injuries were consistent with a fall and police deemed it not to be suspicious. That concludes 4 bodies within a 4-day window, all within the same area, very, very close. How is that not suspicious?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys have been new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, let me talk about it, man. We break down scary, creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank all my supporters, man, who come back to the channel each and every single day, watching the video entirely, commented down below, and most importantly, man, hitting that thumbs up button on each and every single video I drop. I really appreciate the support. I found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Let's seek the truth.
This the exact reason why I stay away from ground beef right now. Buddy decided to recycle a bunch of chicken skeletons and make chum bucket patties. And the scariest part is when this is all done, it looked exactly like the ground beef that you and me eat. You would never be able to tell the difference. And you wonder why when they start testing the meat, they be having other types of meats inside of the ground beef. And the question that we all asking is, who the fuck is going to eat these bone burgers? These motherfucking casket whoppers. Y'all be thinking that y'all be eating motherfucking ground beef and cow and moo and shit. Come to find out, a lot of y'all ass be eating the zoo. All different types of creatures, animals, and the parts that you're not supposed to be eating. Watching stuff like this really makes me tempted to go vegan. Them making my nigga grill from Ben the Mendy into a Whopper is absolutely diabolical. What you think you eating might not be what you really consuming. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this bone burger in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And if y'all want the method on how to turn y'all social media into a money printing machine, comment down below ATM. I'm gonna send a method directly to you.
Megan
I do not.
hiding her dark eyes anymore.
So Megan Thee Stallion just dropped a new music video and the symbolism is dark.
Very
She
dark.
literally turns into a serpent and she consumes.
What do you think she's trying to tell us?
And then you have her dancing in front of a blood moon, and if you know anything about blood moon rituals, this has a lot of symbolism in itself. There's a lot of other little things in the music video, you can go watch it if you want, but this is the same person who was dancing at a Kamala Harris rally, helping her to get votes, and then she just drops this song. It's all connected.
Really?
And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He'd already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. It wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it, and managed him, and got custody of him, and promised to look after him, and then he sent him to the devil. Does that sound like a good guy? Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intention was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there. Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
It's just all this stuff coming out with Diddy, man. It's just like everybody just like trying to connect the dots, bro. I've been seeing like they said CEOs and stuff have been freaking resigning ever since he got caught. Because, man, it's like we don't know how far back this all goes, so we're gonna be in a loop for a minute, man.
September 27th, about 11:30, I had dozed off in my recliner on the other side of this window, and I woke up with a chilling feeling like somebody was staring at me, and I looked at the TV, and then I looked at my blinds, and I saw a little bit of a movement, and I thought it was probably this tree. And then I looked again, and I saw two shiny, glowing eyes looking down at me from almost to the top of that window. And at that point, I jumped out of my recliner, turned the light off in the family room, and went to the far end of the couch and sat listening for noise. And about 10 minutes later, my dog started barking. And I went to the back door and saw she was at the fence, barking and growling. And I ran and grabbed a flashlight and went out on the sun porch, but I could not see what was out there, and she would not stop barking and growling, and she came up to me where it was and leaned against me like she was protecting me, and that spooked me, so I backed back in, locked the door, and ran upstairs to my bedroom, to the bathroom, where my window angled down where I could see with the flashlight.
She saw Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
Lately, some of these scientists may have found some alien megastructures. They found 7 of these things right here. This is what it looks like. The crazy part about this is what a biblically accurate angel looks like. As you can see, it has a bunch of eyes around this orb of light, and you got the wings and everything like that. But it looks very similar to this. The scientists are saying this is an abnormality. These Dyson spheres are not normal. I'm talking about these Dyson spheres showed up around 1,000 light years away from Earth. These scientists said that if we were able to get a hold of these Dyson spheres, we would have the power of having as much energy as the sun provides every second. Meaning we can do things like interstellar travel. This is crazy. They said that we can even move an entire solar system to our preferred location.
Damn.
But obviously, guys, that's never going to happen, not at least in our lifetime. Because the technology and the raw materials that are needed to build this hypothetical structure is way too advanced for us. Which is why they think these have something to do with another alien race or something like that. They said these Dyson spheres are so big that we don't even have enough material to build something like it. Which is why this could potentially be a biblically accurate angel. Because this Dyson sphere is a being that is beyond any human's comprehension. They're saying that it's almost impossible to even have the materials to build it. You know what I'm saying? It seems like something that is out of humanity's grasp at this point. And they can do unthinkable things like move an entire solar system. Things that normal humans cannot do. But that's just how great God is. He can do the unthinkable. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Was that Dyson sphere, or like you said, a biblically accurate? They said angel. That's it. I've been seeing a couple of clips of that's what they said it looked like. So I don't know. They talk about moving solar systems and things like that. That's like power I don't think we should have.
Man filmed a face by the moon and got it all on camera. It is February 28th, 29th, 29th. I have got me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now. It's very ominous. There he is. There he is.
What the fuck?
There he is. There he is. It's a huge face, looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture of the moon. Close to his land.
Is this an edit? Was this legit, man? You seen a face watching down on us.
There it is. Yep, there it is. There it is.
Mira, yo María Félix, lo único que tengo que decir es que fue la mujer más bella que existió en México, la que nos representó en todo el mundo, la que nos llevó, que nos dio a conocer a todos los mexicanos por su belleza, por su inteligencia, porque era una mujer muy inteligente y muy bella.
Sound like all right. She was saving people out there. She was trying to save anybody she could. I guess when it involved Diddy and all those industry parties and stuff like that, man, it's just a freaking dark place, man. The industry, you gotta be careful, bro. You never know what you're gonna fall into. Seekers, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. Make sure you guys comment down below. Follow me on my social medias. Hit that thumbs up button on this video. You guys can catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.